My name is Evan Yee, and a lot of my work has to do with looking at different periods of time. So the piece is called Finding Solace in the Utopia of Tomorrow because it's what I try to embody in the title is that driving force which motivated my ancestors and myself to keep on enduring until the next day, to sort of like try to meet a goal. So my grandfather immigrated from China when he was 13 years old, and upon turning 18 in America, he immediately joined the Air Force because he was an illegal immigrant. So that gave him and the family a certain amount of security in the US in order to stay. What I was able to dig into recently is some of those military documents, which I couldn't access until my grandfather passed away. And that actually happened in 2007, but upon digging through it recently, I've actually found a lot more content that I could sort of bite into, especially for a piece that has to do with identity, and combined with my interest in history and time. I really wanted to take a look into what was the driving force behind his motivation, and it got me thinking about not just my grandfather, but about my further ancestry and about like my further extended family, and beyond that, sort of the rest of everyone's ancestry, and sort of why we do things, why we endure so much of the issues that we have today, why we fight so hard for this idea of tomorrow. With this piece, I've taken a lot of things that are actually from my family. Now in the bottom, down here, is some soil, and the soil is actually from the house that my grandfather came to live in the US with my grandmother, and it's still in the family, and it has been for about 75 years, which I think is pretty phenomenal. And the soil comes from the base of a persimmon tree that actually my great-grandfather and my grandfather both planted together. This piece coming out here is actually, it's a persimmon twig that's been cast in bronze. Bronze is, as a material, I find fascinating mostly because of its permanence. As humans, we've always loved the idea of immortality and legacy and permanence, and bronze has a half-life of 100,000 years. This twig, being a persimmon tree, is a sort of representation of this driving force that is still persisting throughout the life and death of some of the objects within this work. And at the top of that twig, it's holding up my hair, and that sort of represents the present. It represents now, and it represents me, because it is and was and will be a part of me and my DNA and my genetics.